Well, so I can't seem to find my camera stand today, so we'll just incrementally go through this. These are ferments that I paused the fermenting by putting them in the refrigerator, and I didn't have time to blend them, so I'm going to blend them today. These are mild peppers. They're just the banana peppers in the 2 yellow jars, and then Pablemo and banana in this one. This is a mix of peach, apple, and red habanero. Blend that down. This is just straight red habanero. We're going to blend those. This one's red habanero with a little bit of tomato in there. This is red habanero and some peach as well. And then we've got 2 jars of the red habanero apple that we set up. We're going to go ahead and process those down. And this is the garden blend. That is the sweet basil. I think I put banana peppers and tomatoes and like 8 red habaneros in there. This is the tomato ferments. One has already been spiced. The other one has not yet been spiced. So we're going to work with some of these flavors today. And we're going to make what I'm going to call Earl's Flamato. So it's going to be a mix of some of the tomato and one of these pepper bases. I'm not sure which one yet. So we're going to process these. We'll start with the low heat, and then we'll process the higher heat peppers. And then I'm going to make the blend for Earl and put some spices and things in there, and we'll see how it comes out. But yeah, kind of excited to get these blended out. I need to kind of close out my fermenting for the year as the colder weather gets in here. It's these things, you know, I just don't want to leave them sit. So I'm going to process them all down, get them in the refrigerator, and I'll update you as we go. And stick around. All right, first jars are open. They smell really good. I thought about blending these with but I think I'm going to keep them separate. Okay, so got a couple blends done. This is the banana peppers, and I added some ginger, cilantro, and sweet basil. A little bit of acetic acid to drop the pH. pH wasn't real low. Those peppers, they seem to be pretty tough. I'm going to need a finer blender to get them blended smooth, but both that one and the one with the pablemos, I kind of flavored the same, but I added more water to the pablemo. What I found is that pepper's so light and the flavoring's so delicate, the salt's too strong. So I'm not sure how to rectify that. I mean, it's kind of, you know, you put the amount of salt in there to be correct for safety reasons, and it's too salty to me, but it's got a flavor profile that's okay. It's really kind of very, very mild. This is the garden blend one. And it just had such a crazy good aroma. And it tastes really good. Very light, not hot flavor. And just a touch of heat. I added a little bit of fresh or dried cilantro and a little more of the basil to add to that flavor profile. It's really, really good. I like how that one turned out. Probably do some more like that. Okay. So this is what we ended up with. We got straight red habanero. And I probably shouldn't have tasted that first because I think it stilted my taste buds. It's hot. Edible, but hot. Then we have an apple red habanero, batch number 1. You can see a little bit of difference in color. It's a little lighter. Still plenty of heat. And then we have apple red habanero number 2. I think it was a little less hot than number 1, but pretty much the same. Then we got a peach red habanero, and I call it a light. It's pretty good just by itself, but still very hot. And these are in order of heat. So we got a tomato habanero ferment that, well, these two might be close to the same heat, but still plenty of heat. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, except I might do what I did with this one. Now this is, I had a half gallon of the tomato hab and a quart of the tomato hab. They all came out of the same kind of mix. And I took the quart and I added in about 3/4, so like 3 cups of water and 1 cup of rice vinegar and some spices into the mix. And it's pretty good. I kind of like how it came out. That was, and it's not overly hot. I mean, it's hot. Don't get me wrong. It's hot. Red habaneros, roughly, probably, 35 to 40% of that jar is red habaneros. So it's got some heat to it, but the flavor is really good. I think you can use that one just the way it is. This is the garden blend that only had like 8 or 10 maybe red habanero peppers, which isn't a whole lot of volume, and then tomatoes and peppers from the garden. And I fermented it with some sweet basil in the ferment. Very aromatic, really, really good. Very light heat, pretty usable by almost anybody. And then we get into the stuff with no heat. This is the ones we talked about previously. This is just flavored tomato. I'll use that as a Flamato base. This is straight up tomato. That's all I've got left of the fermented tomatoes. It's just plain. I took the other half of that jar and I've blended in some spices, and it is sitting ready to pick a heat level for Earl's 75% hot Flamato. So we're in the process of making that. Hopefully it comes out good. I mean, the taste of the tomatoes right now is very good, but I'm going to give it a minute before I add the heat and let my palate mellow out a little bit, because I think I'd make it too hot right now, because by the time I get the taste of heat, it's probably going to be pretty hot. So I want to avoid making it too hot. So I'm going to give it a minute before I start. And again, probably shouldn't have started with that one. Straight habanero, pretty hot. Okay, I've decided to use the Apple Red Habanero number 2 as the heat element for Earl's Flamato. Well, when I was making space for all these jars in the refrigerator, I realized I did have a whole nother half gallon of just tomatoes in there, so still got a lot of base. That's good. Here we go. Probably start off with, how does this thing? Half cup, and we'll see how it tastes. Go from there. Okay, well, I may have got ahead of myself, but I put 2 of those of the Apple Red Habanero into a little over 32 ounces of the tomato. And this is a spoonful of it. We're going to taste it, see how it tastes. Hard judgment call. I think it needs a little bit more. Here, I'm going to put a little more in. Okay, spoonful number 2. It's good, but I still say it's mild, but I'm going to leave it because I think that heat level might grow a little bit. So now we're going to compare that to a standard Flamato, which I've got some I've made here a while back. There's a little bit left. We're going to taste that and see how it compares. Okay, tasting just the straight Flamato. Which one's hotter? I think the Flamato might be a little bit hotter, but they're really close. Anyway, this is the Earl's is supposed to be 75% heat of the Flamato, so I don't know. I'm not a good judge of heat sometimes after I've been eating peppers. So anyway, it's done. I'm going to bottle some up. So I'm going to be sending Earl a bottle of his Earl's hot sauce, a bottle of Flamato, and a bottle of mild Flamato, and probably a bottle of the garden blend. I think he'll like that. Maybe a bottle of that apple light that I flavored up too. So I got to get some bottles out and get that done. That may not happen until later tonight, but then I got to figure out how to get it over to Earl. See ya.